Hello, my name is Nikita and I am the front-end developer at Visual Composer. And today I'll show you how to submit element to Visual Composer Hub. Once you've created a custom element, you have an option to submit it to Visual Composer in order to showcase it in Hub. If you decided to do so, there are some code style rules you have to follow. Our development team sticks to a certain set of code style rules in order to keep the code clean, more readable, and reduce the number of bugs. Every element in the hub undergoes a test, build, and deploy process in the CI pipeline. During this process, element files get validated for certain code style rules. Thus, the submitted element has to match all of these rules. For today's demo, I'll use our example plugin, which you can find in our GitHub repository. The code that comes within this plugin is already formatted to match the defined code style. We'll start by opening example plugin in code editor. I'll use Visual Studio Code. And the first thing we'll do is validate JavaScript code. For JavaScript, we use standard.js. It is a style guide, linter, and formatter. You can check out all of the rules, but the mains are we use two-space indentation, we use a single quote, and we don't use semicolons. Anyway, you can browse through all of these and check them out for yourself. Okay, so we open our code editor and let's open elements folder, and I have prepared some code for you. Let's open component.js file. And in order to validate the JavaScript code, we need to open the terminal. I'll use the one that is built into the code editor. And over here, we are already in the element folder. And the first thing we need to do is to run yarn install. And now we have a standard command available to validate our code. So it goes yarn standard. Okay, as you can see, it found three issues. It specifies the line in the file and provides a small description. So on line 5 we have an extra semicolon. We don't use it, so we can just remove it, save file, and now if we run this command again, it shows that only 2 are left. But in this case we had only 3 issues, but imagine if you have like a lot of them. In order to fix all of these issues automatically, there is a command called yarn standard -- fix. If we run it, it will fix all of the issues automatically, but there are some exceptions, like this one, that the variable is defined but never used on line 28. So we have to remove it manually. So since we don't use this variable, we can just remove it. That's it. Now if we run yarn standard again, okay, it successfully ran the command and no issues found. Alright, so now I will show you how to set up a visual aid for the Visual Studio Code editor. So in order to set up a visual aid, we're going to need to download the special plugin. The standard.js provides plugins for various code style editors. In our case, we will use this one. So it's called standard.js JavaScript standard style. We will just copy paste the name of the plugin. Let's get back to our editor. Here we press the extensions button and just paste it. And here it is, first one. We click install button. Okay, now it's ready. It's going to validate our code, but first thing we need to disable default JavaScript code validation. So in order to do this, we have to go to Preferences, Settings. Here in the settings we type JavaScript validation, and we need to disable default JavaScript validation. But first we need to click on this workspace button in order to disable it only for this project. So now we've disabled it. If we return to our code, currently it doesn't highlight anything because our code is correct, but if we add, for example, semicolon, as you can see, it instantly highlights the issue, and if you hover over it, it will show you that it is extra semicolon. So we can remove it, and that's it for JavaScript validation. Next, I'll show you how to validate PHP code style. For the PHP, we use PSR2 coding style. It also has various code style rules that you can check out on their website. The one of them is we use 4 spaces for indentation. So let's open the code editor and we will open our PHP file. And as you can see, each element folder have this CI folder in it, which contains all the rules inside this ruleset.xml file. So to validate this PHP file, we need to run this command. Okay, and as you can see, it also highlights the issues, and it shows the line where this issue occurs, and it provides a small description. So the first one is on line 61, it's over here. Opening brace should be on a new line, so like so. Save. Next on line 75, wrong indentation, so let's fix that. Save. Run it again. Okay, it shows white space found at the end of the line on line 61. So remove the white space, hit save, run command again, and that's it. The PHP code is now fixed. That's it for the PHP. As for the other file formats like CSS or JSON, we don't have any code style linters or formatters. The main rules that we use are 2 space indentation for both CSS and JSON. So inside a JSON file, we don't have spaces between properties. We always use 1 space between a property name and the value. For the CSS files, we use a 1 space between a selector and the opening bracket. So you can always use our example plugin as a point of reference, and also you can check the existing Visual Composer elements at our GitHub repo. When you're happy with your element, please upload all the files to the GitHub repository. You can use our element boilerplate as a reference. Once done, please share a link to your GitHub repository in our Slack channel or send it to our support team. After element submission, our development team will carefully review the code and include your element into the hub to run tests against it. If any errors will be found, we will provide you with a descriptive list of things that needs to be fixed. After that, the submission process has to be repeated. When your element will pass the review and testing process, we will notify you about that and include your element in the hub. Thank you for watching. We will leave all the links in the description. And see you next time!